So I'm out here today firing two bowls. One was made for the Ancient Pottery Challenge, and the other bowl is a puki, which is a bowl that's used to make other bowls. So I had to make that in order to make more bowls for the Ancient Pottery Challenge. So I forgot to turn the camera on when I started the fire because I'm doing this on my lunch hour, and I just got too wrapped up in the filming or not filming to try to get this thing going. It's December 2nd. It's about 40 degrees out, and yes, I'm in shorts. So it's actually pretty warm next to the fire here, so there's no breeze. You look at the trees out here, nothing's going at all. But this is my kiln. So I wanted to show you what my kiln is. It started off with concrete blocks. On top of that, I have a rack of irons, some from barbecue grill, some that are just rebar, so that I can get airflow underneath the wood, which will be on top of that grate, which you can maybe see here. There's the grate underneath, and there's the wood going. There's all the way back in there. And then, so that's from this area up to, here's the firebox to about here. And then I have another layer of pavers that leave an opening here. So it goes the wood firebox in here, and then it goes up here, and then it turns around, and this is where the kilnware, or this is where the kiln actually is in this area. And then the fire goes straight up the chimney. So this is what's known as a philosopher's kiln. It's all loose stacked, so there's all these bricks are just laid on top of each other. There's 2 layers. It's 2 layers thick all the way around, just to cut down on air seepage. And this is the top of the kiln. So if I open that up, you'd see the 2 pots that are being fired right now. And over here, I have a little spot for a temperature gauge, but my temperature gauge isn't really working right now, so I just decided to wing it. So that's the kiln. You can see my fire's starting to go out. So I'm going to stoke this with some wood. I got some piles cut here. And for these kilns, you really don't want big, thick logs like I have in there. They just were laying around and they were a weird shape, so I couldn't split them. You want thin stuff, because that will bring up the temperature the fastest. So I'm going to put the camera down and soak this up. Okay, I've put some more wood in here. And as this starts to come up to temperature, I'm going to cover the firebox opening here with the door here, and the air will just come down through here in the opening in the cinder blocks and bring the air through the whole system, so that the heat will keep moving. So here's just a picture of it with the door shut. As that starts to come up to temperature, I will sit here just for a little bit longer, and I'll end up stoking it one more time and then just letting it die down. So total kiln time with the fire going is about 2 hours. It depends, of course, on the weather and the wood, but I basically end up stoking it 1 to 2 times after the initial start. So I think today we'll go, this was the first time, so I'll do another one in about 20 minutes to try to get this fire nice and hot, because this is a pretty big bowl, and I want to make sure that it fires. I don't know if you can see in here now, but you can actually start seeing into the kiln. There you go. That fire is definitely coming up and around from the bottom shelf. So I know it's starting to get hot enough. In the front here, it's only 1 layer thick because of the way the chimney's built. But on the other side, you can see that You know, if I went 2 layers, it would have been another layer put on there, but then I wouldn't be able to get to the door. So all the way, all 3 sides are double layered, so the smoke is only coming out where the cracks are, which is around the door and around the top of the kiln. So here's one thing to note. As the fire gets hotter, and because the bricks are not mortared in place, they'll start to expand. And I have to, every once in a while, I'll go around and tap them back into place just because they started to expand a little bit. So, you know, I just use my hand with a glove, just tap them back. Like, here's a big gap. I don't know if I can close that up. But, you know, with the smoke, it makes it easy to find the gaps. So just wanted to let you know that, you know, that's not a perfect kiln. I can't just set it and forget it. But other than this, you know, I just basically load it up a couple times, and there's not much else to do. You can see the smoke or heat coming out of the chimney, so I know it's drawing correctly. There are plans on the internet on how to make this kiln. That's where I went to go get it. This is not my design by any means. This is somebody's years and years worth of knowledge putting these things together. There's actually a ratio on the opening to the firebox to the gap behind the kiln shelf, and then the chimney. There's all calculations and ratios that have to be maintained to get sufficient enough airflow to get this thing to draw correctly. So this is built on years of people's knowledge. So I don't want anybody to get the idea that I came up with this. Oops, sorry. All right, so I just restoked the fire. I took all the wood that was here, put it in, and now I'm going to remove the chimney to try to keep that heat in. So I'll take the chimney out, and I'll put these bricks that's cut, you know, holding the chimney up, which really they don't need to. They're there. That I'm going to actually close up that entrance a little bit to make a little pressure for the heat to come in and stay into the firebox. So give me a minute. Okay, so I slid the chimney out, and I made a closed up that opening there a little bit. It's really getting smoky now. I think some of the wood got wet. Another reason why it's getting smoky. But now I will just let that last batch of wood burn off. Hopefully make this kiln go up a little higher, and then we'll just let it cool down. So I'm actually done, and my total start to finish time was about an hour, but this will go for another hour as it cools down and the fire goes out. And I actually won't open it up until later this afternoon. Might even be dark by then. So we'll see you at that point. Okay, bye. So okay, it's later in the day, and I'm going to now open the top. Well, there we go. There are the 2 bowls, and as you can see, there is a huge crack down the big bowl, and it doesn't look like that's going to make it. But the little bowl looks like it made it, so at least we got something. And you know, better luck next time. Thanks. Bye.